are 15 things that I must bring when I go hiking. First off, I'm going to dress the elephant in the room. New location. I'm not outdoors, I'm inside today. I think 2 separate people have told me this, but I've got open outdoors. It could be closed indoors for like a gaming channel or something. That's not going to happen. Let's get the 15 things going. Let's get cracking with item 1. Your bag. Very important piece of kit. My bag here is about 40 litres, so it's decently good for anything as long as you use it correctly. It's a second-hand bag, so somebody else owned it before me. And it's made in Vietnam, which I think the Vietnamese might have a little bit of an upper on quality, let's say, to a Chinese bag. Let's move on to item 2. Item 2, tarps. I usually bring one whenever I go hiking, just in case of bad weather and I need shelter. This is my bigger tarp, but I've also got a smaller one as well. This one usually goes on the ground, while this one usually goes above my head. Alright, let's move on to item 3. Even if you don't think you need this item, you probably do. And that item is ropes. They are so useful. In cloudy weather and slippery places along mountains, you can tie them between each other. It can be used for tarps, which is why it's the third one. It's the third one. I usually bring over 20 meters of it because you never know how much rope you might need. This is my longest rope. It's probably about 10 meters, give or take. Let's move on to the next one. This next item is essential in most winter conditions. I'm sick, okay? Give me a break. That's why I'm not out in the bush today, okay? Even if you're not going to be staying overnight, it's almost essential that you bring a sleeping bag. If you get caught out in bad weather, you'll need to stay warm, so putting up a tarp and then getting into your sleeping bag is almost crucial. It will help your core temperature warm up way quicker. If you open up your sleeping bag, you'd probably find 3 squares or triangles or circles. Now they're going to have temperatures in them. This sleeping bag and its comfort rate is about -5 centigrade, so that's perfect for winter camping. And then it goes up to 11% at its limit, and extreme is 31. I don't know why I'm saying percent, I meant degrees. So you open up your sleeping bag, you'll probably find that towards the bit where you put your head. This sleeping bag is made of 25% recycled plastic, making it healthier to the environment. But let's say you're not winter camping and you don't need a sleeping bag. There's another alternative. A replacement for your sleeping bag could always be your trusted woolen blanket. A woolen blanket is really good. Firstly, it's fire resistant, making it that if sparks were to land on this while you're asleep, it wouldn't burst up to flame. So this would probably keep you warmer than a regular plastic blanket because of this. Animal fibers. Why would humans try to replicate what nature can already make? Just use wool, it's so much easier. So I like to use this when I'm out camping in the middle of the woods and I don't want to get my sleeping bag on fire because obviously that is plastic. A blanket there is a good replacement. Let's move on to the next one. Number 6. Now this one can be dangerous, but it is very useful to have with you, especially in a survival situation where you might die of hypothermia. That thing is a firelighting kit. It's not just a black box, it contains matches, lighter, flint and steel, and some sticks that have been drying for years in this bag actually. They've been in there a while actually. So if you just put a flame up to that, it'll probably catch fire instantly. A stick to burn has to have a moisture content less than 14%. This might just be about 5%, which is really good for firelighting. Firelighting kit, almost essential, unless you want to do a bow drill or just rub 2 sticks together. 7 is also quite dangerous. It's the knife. With the knife, you can whittle. You can get a block of wood and just bang on the top of that blade and just push it into a log. So I always keep a nice sharp knife with me whenever I go out in the bush because you never know when you're going to need it, and I usually do use it. I like to keep a piece of rope on here. It's got that little notch there. And it's got a little saw bit there, a little serrated piece of the knife. Quite cool, made in Taiwan. I like to think the Taiwanese might also have an advantage over Chinese manufacturing, but again, I could be wrong. Let's move on. All of those things I just talked about, they fall into a thing I like to call the shelter category, which in my opinion is the most important part of survivaling. The second most important part is water. So I've got a water bottle right here. It is 1.5 liters. This is actually an old soda bottle and I use these all the time when I'm hiking. I always use soda bottles because, firstly, quite durable. 1.5 liters is quite a lot, but the third reason, I'm recycling it. If I'm using it again, it's way better than just throwing it away. Plastic bottles, everybody. Bring 2 1.5 liter soda bottles. Last time I went hiking, I used a milk carton. It worked. Number 9, medical kit. Unfortunately, I do not have the medical kit with me right now, but just take my word for it. Another one I take is a PLB. PLB stands for Personal Locator Beacon. That's what it does. If you get in trouble, you can just push a button and it will send up a little signal to some satellites and I'll come and get you, ideally. I'm just going to include that with number 9. That's the category of things that I do not have with me right now.
William is the owner of this specific PLB and medical kit that you just saw on screen. He has also attended and passed first aid courses and fire safety courses, making him a valuable asset to the team.
Now number 10 is probably the most important thing you can do before you go hiking, and that is your base layer. I've got some merino leggings for your legs, and I got a merino top for your tops. It's very warm. It's quick drying, so just like polypropylene, which is pretty much just the plastic version of it, flammable version of it, I like to call. So the water will run off this pretty quickly and you can warm up yourself up again. Okay, let's move on to number 11. Number 11 is your second layer. But in New Zealand, it doesn't usually get as cold as a lot of alpine countries. But in New Zealand, it's still alpine, but it's not that cold. So you can usually get away with 2 layers. So my second layer is generally this big swan dry hoodie. 75% wool, 25% plastic. If that equals 100%, then that's perfect. Pretty warm, and it extends quite far. This gets down to about my knees. This is very important, but unfortunately, the 2 layers that I've just covered don't work if you don't wear this layer. Number 12 is probably one of the most important layers. It is windbreaker/rain gear. Here are some of my rain pants, okay? These ones are getting a little bit small now, but they've got elastic tops. They are waterproof, relatively windproof. And then of course you've got your rain jacket. I like to roll it into a little ball. This one's more of a windbreaker, it's not entirely waterproof. When it rains, I definitely use this a lot. Without rain gear, you will lose your body heat 25% faster than if you were dry, which is why it's really important that you bring a rain jacket at least. You got a lot of low-lying plants when you get higher up in the mountains, and they're just annoying, they get your legs wet. I wasn't wearing my rain pants, I got really cold, really wet. It sucked, but I was okay, because I'm still here. Bring rain pants, rain jacket, it is essential. Another important one, of course, is your socks. You should always bring at least 2 pairs. They're very thick, so they keep my feet warmer. I'm actually wearing some right now. And I get my foot that high. I'm not flexible, trust me. But anyway, I'm wearing my socks, I give up. So this one is like regular tramping. Maybe I'd wear these ones in like a hut or something like that. And these ones are quick dry socks. When these socks get wet, as long as you take them off for about maybe half an hour, and you let them drip dry, it should be good. Let's move on to number 14. This one is literally the lifeline of you out in the bush. If you don't have good of these, you're gonna have a tough time. Tramping boots. If you got bad tramping boots with bad tread on the bottom, you'll be able to feel stones. Sneakers do work pretty well. I know people who go tramping in sneakers. Those sneakers are usually ruined by the end of it. If you've got an old pair that aren't going to be used for anybody else, absolutely 100% use the sneakers. But these, yeah, they always help. The last one, number 15. Now this one is probably overlooked time and time again. Probably not this one. This is just a winter hat. It's kind of similar to what I'm wearing right now, minus the top where I'm bald. You chuck that on. There you are. Nice winter hat. Colder climates, you definitely want one. Trust me on that, okay? But the hole in the ozone burns you a lot quicker And you're like, okay, it burns you a lot quicker. But trust me, it burns you. I've had some terrible sunburns while I've been sailing out in the last couple summers. But a sun hat is so useful. It stops this. Stops your face and your neck from getting burned as badly. It's stopping the sun rays. Let's just take this thing off. Look at that. Obviously though, if you got your paw tie or your hat on, it's going to be the best hike of your life, the best experience. And with that out of the way, those are my 15 things, everybody. Thank you for watching. Leave one of these guys and leave a subscribe. That wasn't a B and an E, but that's okay. Stay safe out there, guys. Have a good one.
The clips you saw were sourced from the Open Outdoors YouTube channel via the Video Game Gamers 9 YouTube channel.